Before you get emotionally attached, ask yourself this. We're going to talk about it, but before we do...
We tell Jill of God-Ordained Union. We have been married for 4 years.
Officially.
So we're excited about that. And look, we're here to do one thing and one thing only. We're here to help increase God-Ordained unions.
Yes, yes. We're here to increase marriages, but not just marriages, marriage to your person. So if you are single and you desire marriage and you wondering what's going on, why is it taking so long, why it hasn't happened for me yet, you're on the right channel, because that was our story. We were single for a very long time. I was 48 when I came across Terrence on his outdated profile was on a dating site. So I came across Terrence, I think it was 48. We officially started talking I was 49. We got engaged. I was 50. We got married. I was 52. Never had any children.
I was 54.
Never had any children. Never had gotten married before this. Never had a proposal. And I had, I think, 2 guys I can officially say were a boyfriend. But so we know what you are going through. But this is the thing. You want your person, especially the older you get, you don't want to settle. We did not settle. And so you're on the right channel. Please subscribe. Please turn on your notifications. Please share, comment, because we are here to encourage you. You want marriage. God wants it for you. The enemy does not want it for you. And let me tell you, the enemy works in people. He's not omnipresent. So he works in people. And sometimes your worst enemy is in your mind. And so on this channel, we expose some things that you probably don't even realize is happening that is blocking you. So you are on the right channel. We go live every single Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We drop pre-recorded videos like this one every Sundays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have a private group that meets every first and third Tuesdays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. right after our live. That group is only $11 a month. Can't beat that with a baseball bat. We also have a prayer call that's absolutely free. You can join us for midnight prayer starting at 11:50 on Friday nights, 11:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, going into midnight. We also do one-on-ones. We don't give marriage advice. God's given us some wisdom. We're not therapists. We're not counselors. None of that. But God has given us some wisdom. We like to believe that we mastered this being single. And so he's given us some wisdom and we can share it with you if you have any questions. And we have an ebook for the ladies. If you're wondering what is blocking you, you need the ebook, because there's a lot of things that we could be doing. Now, I'm not saying we're not saying that men ain't blocked either, but I wrote the ebook just for the ladies. This one is working on a book, not an ebook. So, and I guess that was premature for saying that, but the ebook is for the ladies. And so if you want the ebook, you can get that. You can learn all about us, our prayer call, the ebook, the one-on-ones, the private group, all of that by going to our website, www.godordainedunion.com, www.godordainedunion.com. Also, follow us on IG, because that's where we do our day-to-day, our lifestyle. Yeah. If you want to get to know us a little bit more, go over there and follow us, and we'll follow you back.
You'll see that we're the same people that you see on videos. What you see
is what you get.
That we every day.
Yes. So
you said a lot, baby.
Yes, I did.
So with that being said, y'all, springtime is in the air.
It is.
And it is known for love.
It is.
And you can feel it every single year when the springtime comes. It's like love is just out there. Everybody wants to get their share of love and find their person. So with that being said, we want to talk to you today about some of the things you might need to ask yourself before getting emotionally invested, emotionally attached, okay, to someone. So you want to sit down and have a conversation and make sure you got your emotional condom on. And these are some of the questions that you might need to ask yourself and be honest about the answers, because it can save you a lot of heartache and headache in going into the future.
Yeah. Yep.
So baby.
Yes.
Give us an examples of these questions that people should be asking themselves before getting emotionally attached to someone.
Yeah, I think the biggest overall thing is to really take your time.
Yes.
Don't rush. And I can't stress that enough. Yes, somebody, you could meet somebody and get married in 30 days. We heard all the stories before, and they could be healthy, successful, happy marriages. Yes. But I'm telling you, these days, you really got to take your time, because, prior to social media and prior to the pandemic, it was a different time and a different person. All these things have shaped now the political climate. Like at this particular time, people are really, really looking out for their best interests. And so for a number of reasons, just for survival. And I say that to say, if you don't do a slow burn, like, you going to miss some things, and you going to end up, falling into something emotionally, which will create a soul tie. And so overall, I would say, take your time, do a slow burn. Like, I can't stress that, or we can't stress that enough. But we were having a conversation, Terrence and I, and when it comes to emotional attachment, I think women fall quicker emotionally.
I believe that.
But I think men stay longer.
I believe that as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of heartache, but, women saw it in the beginning and ignored it. Men,
once they get attached, it's hard to get unattached.
Right.
Before starting the next one.
Right. So there's some men that's still probably holding on to a heartbreak from 16 or 21. Yeah. And they could be in marriages that they're on the surface, it's not really their person. It's just, or they could just still be single and just don't want to deal with it, avoiding love and,
trying to camouflage it. That's
right. Right.
Pretending.
Right. So let's just do a clean slate. And, let's just assume you're healed and spring is in the air, and your person or prospect is about to show up. And I think you said it so best. Emotional condoms need to go on. We saw that in the movie. We heard that term in the movie.
I love that term.
I don't remember the movie. I want to credit the movie, but I don't know. But you need to put your emotional condoms on. And so I believe that, a lot of times people fall in love with the idea of falling in love, and they get emotionally invested like this. A lot of it has to do with the attraction. They emotional and get emotionally invested and attached just from the attraction, and you don't really get to know the person. And so what it all boils down is, at this juncture, everybody needs to practice self-control when it comes to the emotions. They need to develop some more emotional intelligence. And so emotional intelligence basically means, how do I feel and how will I respond? How do I respond? And so with those two questions, you got to really dig in deep about how you really feel and how you really feel like you want to respond. And you need to prune in those areas, prune yourself in those areas, because if not, you're going to
set yourself up for failure,
to bleed all over a situation, which it could push people, or it could prolong a relationship. And so yeah. So there are how many questions we came up with? 15.
And mind you, these questions aren't questions you're going to ask the other person.
Right.
These are questions you're going to ask yourself.
Right. Because that's the other thing we do. And we hear this a lot, we need some more time with men. But we hear it a lot from women. They're checking temperatures of the man, and they're what you call it when they poke in the man, checking to see
it's like they're testing
them and
trying to qualify.
And I just asked them, this is one of the questions that I hear a lot of women say. They'll say something like this a young lady that's single, that's on my Facebook, in my Facebook circle. She's a family friend, but she does this all the time, and it irritates me. She'll say, "Who want to bring me dinner? Which one of y'all single men want to bring me a grape soda? Or which?" And I'm like, "Girl, stop!" Like. So it's a lot of testing the external, and that is a strong indication that you off. You need to be focused on the internal, your emotional intelligence, and because this is the thing, you asking a question out there trying to fill the air, and if somebody was to say, "Ain't nobody bring you no dinner," or if she didn't get any responses. That probably is going to invoke rejection, feeling rejected, abandoned, or mainly rejected, or, not getting the response. But it makes you wonder why. She should ask herself, why do I need to ask this? What do I need? And it really is love language, because it's like her love language is probably acts of service. And so she needs somebody to serve her. Or it could be gifts. She needs somebody to bring her a gift, bring her something. And so yeah. So I say that to say, focus on you. So here are 15 questions you need to, and we've been coming up with these questions for the last 3 days or 2 days or something. I was putting the questions in my phone, and then we narrowed them down to what ones we're gonna give to you. And so, because it was a lot. So, all right. So first question you need to be asking yourself, why do I want this person? Is it because I'm lonely? Why do I want this person?
Be honest.
Be honest. Why do I want this person? Number 2, am I seeking love or relief from loneliness? Because there's a lot of people, they really want companionship. They don't want a purpose partner. They want companionship, which is an indication that you want company. You're trying to...
And it's easy to fall into that when you've been single a long time.
And when you get older.
You feel like you've been in the waiting room for a long time, and you're thinking, I just want to get this over. Can I meet somebody? So, you can slide right in there.
I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of not having nobody on Friday nights. I'm tired of not going to... So you need to ask yourself, because this is the thing. When somebody come, you will get emotionally attached immediately because you're trying to fill a void. All right. Number 3, do I know what I want? And we always ask that because a lot of y'all know what y'all don't want. And that's what y'all attracting, what you don't want. And so, I saw Taraji P. Henson. She, there's a meme or something going on, I mean, it could be AI. I don't know, but it's a caption, and maybe she said it in the video. I don't know, but I know it was Taraji P. Henson, and it was a question, or it was a statement, and she said, "I don't want nobody's unhealed son." And so what she's probably getting is somebody's unhealed son. That's what she probably keep getting. And so when you don't know what you want and you keep saying what you don't want, you are speaking what you don't want, and what you don't want is coming to you. Is coming to you. All right.
It's your fault.
Right. So number 4, is it drawing me closer to God? So is this person, this prospect, is he or she drawing me closer to God? Number 5, am I being led by peace or my emotions? And you notice when your feelings are all confused and you wondering why this person ain't calling or not returning your call, not returning your text, and you got to really ask yourself, am I at peace with this, or am I really confused? that's an indication. Any little indication of confusion, you about to bust open that emotional condom. You about to break it. So anytime there's confusion, that is the seed that's about to make you all hemmed up in your emotions. Yeah. So you gotta be careful. Number 6, have I prayed about this and received God's answer? There's a lot of people say, I prayed about this, and they done prayed about it with a made up mind and the outcome that they want. And they feeding that to themselves, and they think that that's what God is saying. And he ain't said that. He telling you, you can feel it. It ain't showing me. It ain't drawing you closer to me. You ain't got peace about it. That's the answer. It's a big fat no. But, and so, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful on that one. Because like she said, you want to make sure that it's God's answer, even if it disagrees with what you wanted to hear. Because this is about being honest.
Yeah.
This is about being honest.
Yeah. Number 7, is it producing fruit or compromise? So is it producing patience in you? Is it producing peace?
That's a beautiful question.
Is it producing kindness in you? Mm-hmm. Are you gentle about it? Are you loving who this person is as a person? As a person right now, do you genuinely love that person as my brother or sister in Christ? Is it producing love? Like, I really like this person, and not an emotional thing, but like, I really like their character. Right. I like who they are. I like what they stand for. Number 8, ask yourself this: am I whole or hoping they will complete me?
That's important. All of these are important. But what you don't want to do is go into something thinking that somebody else is going to complete you.
Yeah.
No, you don't need somebody to complete you.
Yeah.
You need to be whole and know that you're whole and healthy before you start something, or you are setting yourself up and the other person for some drama.
Yeah. And that's also you're setting yourself up for that person to define who you are. Mm-hmm. If you are not whole and don't know who. Yeah. Number 9, ask yourself this: would you date you? And I'm gonna tell you something.
That's a great question.
I said this, I don't know, I've been saying this for years and years and years and years and years. And I can emphatically say I've always felt this way about myself. I had no regrets in life, because I believe all things work together for the good. But I can emphatically say this: I love me some Jill. I love me some Jill. And I can not only say I would date myself, and this is not no self-love type of thing. This is not just saying I would date. This is not saying just saying this, but I would be my best friend. Like I like me. I really like me. And I do. I like me. And yes, if I was a man, I would date no, I'm not going to say that. That's a question for y'all. Because I got this one. He's like a refractor. He's like me on steroids. He's me on steroids. So yeah, ask yourself that. Number 10, ask yourself this: do I have the capacity to make this person a priority? So before huge. You get involved emotionally, do you have room for this person? Do you have room, or are you just, trying to get your fix, or trying to get, And
I like that question too, because the one thing we've talked about in the past, and I don't even think we hit it as much as we should hit it, but you shouldn't even go into a relationship at all if you're not prepared to serve the other person.
Yeah.
So the fact that this question asks, are you ready to make them a priority? I think that's very a great question to ask yourself.
Yeah, because a lot of people are waiting for,
to be served.
And they're waiting for the other person to make them a priority. It's like, no, you need to actually can you make them a priority? Like and if you can't, that's fine. But at least you know you.
Right.
Number 11, am I ignoring any red flags? Like that should be the number one, because I think that's what is happening. Like you getting all emotionally, and let me tell y'all something. Personal. Because in my 20s, it was my worst heartbreak ever. I met this guy through church. All of our churches were affiliated. And, we would, come together like youth. The youth would come together, or we were young adults. We would come together in different circles. And I didn't even like this guy like this. Like he was pretty popular, whatever, but I didn't even like him, mainly because I had a childhood boy, well, not a childhood boyfriend, but I had a boyfriend that was also kind of in that same circle, even though they didn't really know each other. But I was just getting over my first quote unquote love. Well, this guy, he pursued me, and I never forget, I was home and my mother said, Jill, the phone. And because, us Gen Xers, we didn't have cell phones. We had telephones that was on the wall, on the kitchen wall. And so I went running to the phone. I'm like, who is this? And he told me who he was. And I was like, how you get my number? And so he was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about how I got your number. And in his little flirting or whatever. And so we started talking, and the first red flag I saw was that his ex, she wasn't a part of the circle, but his sisters were still in contact with her. And the rumor was that she was heartbroken from him. That was a red flag that I should have known. But this guy pursued me until I was like, okay, I'll go out with you. So we going out and, we dating or whatever. And about a year into us dating, he started dating somebody else. One of my girlfriends was like, I just saw such and such at the skating ring. He was with another girl. And I was like, huh? Yeah, he was with another girl. And so I saw these red flags. And so when I say I was heartbroken, I was heartbroken.
I'll find them and get them for you if you want.
It ain't even worth it. It ain't no comparison. No comparison. And then he had the nerve to say it was because the other girl was more spiritual. So he loved her relationship with the Lord and da. Needless to say, I ignored the red flags and my emotions were all up in it. And I should have had on emotional condom at 22, 24 years old, but I didn't. So yeah. Are you ignoring the red flags? All right. Number 12. Am I seeing clearly or through their potential?
Wow. Look, while we're on potential, you have to, this is where you talk about trying to save a brother. But with that being said, there's some things that I believe that go in here that you also need to ask. Okay. And this is really
in number 12.
Yeah. Number 12. So I want these questions here to be added to number 12. Okay. Because they are around the same family of what you're going to be getting out of it. And one of them is you need to ask yourself, do we share the same faith and foundation? Get off the potential. Do we share the same faith and foundation? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we want the same future? Do you want the same type of lifestyle? Do you want children? Do that person want children? Do y'all want, yes, you want to ask those things. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ask yourself, do we handle conflict in a healthy way? Don't worry about the potential. Ask these questions right here. Are our values aligned? Okay. Wow. And then here's the big one that we should have put at number 1. is their peace, not pressure. So ask these 5 questions.
When you talk about potential.
When you're thinking about potential, ask these 5 questions right here.
Right. So
it's going to help you get to the bottom line if you're being honest about each and every one of them.
Right. So the point of conflict, it's not conflict between, because between you and him or you and her, it's look at how they're handling conflict.
Yeah.
Look at you, because this is what we say, you gotta get to know somebody. Like, you need to get to know somebody long enough before you get emotionally involved or attached. Get to know them long enough to see how they handle conflict.
Yeah, it's very common to hear people say you need to date somebody in all 4 seasons.
All 4 seasons.
So you can get to learn how they respond in different situations and different seasons and different concerns that come up, different problems that arise. You want to know. You don't want to be with somebody that you don't know how they handle something that comes up, and all of a sudden you're sitting there like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, my uncle told us years ago, he said, ride with them in traffic. Ride with them in traffic. But, my family always say, you got to date them all 4 seasons. All 4 seasons, you need to date them before you get yourself all emotionally tied up. Date them all 4 seasons. Get to know them all 4 seasons. Number 13, are they showing a genuine interest? And this is where we get a lot of, I'm not going to say dumb questions. I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say,
what are you seeing?
What are you seeing? Like, they ain't even showing a decent interest, and you crying over them and wondering, why they haven't, like, you all emotionally, we get so many emails about, what should I do? What should I do? And they will be long emails. What should I do? And we read through those and we like, this person ain't even showed up. You ain't even got to the second going out, official second going out, quote unquote, on a date. They haven't even showed an interest.
When you describe a situation that you're in, and you can't even share in that situation, in that description, something that the other person is doing to show you that they care about you, then what is it that you want us to get out of that you didn't get out of it?
Yeah. Because we got to the point that Smiths can't even respond. Because at this point, it's like, well, this is how we're responding. We had to do this video because too many people are getting emotionally attached off of nothing. Too soon.
Prematurely.
And it's not healthy emotions. It's emotions that are harmful emotions. It's not even those giddy emotions.
And there's too many times where people are always focused on what the other person isn't doing or whether or not the other person is ready. These questions here is about you being ready.
And while we're on this about interest, just this is not in stone. This is not proven. This is not studied or anything. But let me just say this. If you're one of these people who falls emotionally fast, let me just give you a suggestion. If you go out the first time with someone, y'all both agree to go out the first time. If then they decide, okay, let's go out a second time. Y'all both agree, let's go out a second time. You may want to assume that the second time, the person is confirming how they felt about you, good or bad, the first time. So you can't even count the first time or the second time. If they want to go out with you a third time, you can say, okay, they may have an interest. They want to get to know me a little bit. They want to get to know me more. But so many people are not even getting to the second time. The second is, or it's long and drawn out. Mm-hmm. If somebody really feel you, they meet you on one day, they're around you. Because we always say, once they're around your presence, they can feel you. They can feel your spirit. They are either drawn to you or not. So if they say a second time, male or female, if they agree to go out with you a second time, they may just be confirming, mm-hmm. good or bad, if the first time is what they felt, good or bad. If they say, let's do it a third time, they probably got the initial interest. The initial interest. So
that's a great way to look at it. That's a great philosophy.
Right. But if they like, well, y'all went out the first time and you trying to figure out, I'm just trying to see when we're going to see each other again, and they not jumping on it, fallback is probably a no. They probably not really. Now they might like you as a friend, but they not.
That's why it's so important to be, one, true to yourself about who you are.
Yes.
And then take that person on a date with you. Don't take a representative.
Right.
Be the real.
You gotta be the emotional, intelligent person out here. Yes. You can't be going in, again, you got to go in with if you got to use 2 emotional condoms, strap it up, wrap it up. Because you can't afford to, develop feelings from the first date. Like you can develop feelings, but you gotta know how to respond to those feelings. You've got to be mature about it. Because you can really feel somebody the first, and I really like them. Like, I really see us having a future. But you got to be.
But you got to give yourself some time
and some intelligence and some maturity.
The real person that you met,
right,
and that they're consistent,
right. And it's a true interest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And time will tell. All right. 14. Can you see them as the parent of your child? And that's even when you 50, 60 years old, you go out. So could you see them as the father or the mother mm-hmm. of your child? Mm-hmm. Whether you having children or not with that person, could you really see them as the parent of your child? Would you want them to be, and it could be something as simple as they're very busy. Like they're always traveling. They're always, but can I really see them? Because because this is an indication, this will show you how present they will be in the relationship. Right. And it ain't even about the child.
Right.
It's about, could you see them as a parent of a child? Particularly your child. So, and then number 15. Mm-hmm. Would you make them an emergency contact? And if they ain't returning your phone calls, if they ain't answering your calls, and they call them back, 3 days later.
Are you sure?
You
want somebody that needs to get you calling them, looking for you?
Would you make them your emergency? And I look at it even different. Deeper. I'm like, can I see that person making a medical decision about me? Can I even see that person when I'm distraught and having to make a sound medical decision about my parents or my children? Like, you really got to have these, like, and again, only time will tell. Like, I could really trust this person. Like, this person is a really good decision maker. I can trust this person with my life and to make the best decisions. And he or she really cares for me. And and so you've got to have these hard conversations with yourself. You do, because you'll be the one hemmed up. And that people going on about their life and dating other people and trying to find their God-Ordained union. And you sitting somewhere in a corner crying. And they ain't even really showed no interest. They might have gone out to coffee with you. That was it. You already done thought about the wedding date. And, and you already done fell in love with the person. You already said, well, God said he my husband. And he like, I don't even like you like that.
And here's the thing. The reason why these are so important for you to have these questions and so important for you to have a conversation with yourself. Again, right now, you all say you are ready to find your person, which means these relationships that you're starting could possibly be with the person.
It can.
So you should be intentionally dating. So you want to set yourself up that if you get emotionally attached to somebody, it's with the right person.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. When you say, I want somebody intentional, I want to be with somebody who's no, you need to be intentional. This is being intentional. This is being really clear about what you want and what you need, and that you're not settling.
And you're moving forward for the right reasons.
Yes. And let me tell y'all something. When you're that intentional and you got self-control and you got emotional intelligence, that's attractive. That's attractive.
Yes.
One of the things that attracted me to Terrence is because he was and I saw it on his profile, he was very sure of who he was and what he wanted. Very sure.
Yeah, so you got to know that you're ready to move forward with this person before you move. And if you're not sure, then don't move forward.
Don't move.
That way you prevent yourself from having some drama and some headaches and some heartaches that you don't necessarily have to go through. Because you can eliminate them by making the right decisions for yourself.
For yourself.
This is why you do it before you get emotionally attached. So you don't let your emotions make those decisions. You make them with a clear head.
Yes. And so let me just also say this. One of the ways to fall into the emotional trap really quickly is to sleep with somebody prematurely. You sleep with that person before there is a solid, let me tell you, we was in a solid relationship. We was engaged and fell into temptation, and the emotions just was haywire. They went haywire. They was making all kind of irrational. So if you want to fall into the emotional trap, sleep with somebody prematurely.
Yeah.
That's a sure way of, but it's sad to say a lot of people don't even need to sleep with somebody. That attraction, and again, a lot of times it's the idea. You're falling in love with the idea of falling in love or being married to that person. Y'all might not even go out on a first date. Y'all might just meet each other on social media and talking, and you done fallen in love with their picture.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't check themselves and say, let me make sure that I am ready. But not even the other person. Right. Let me just make sure I'm good and I'm ready to make this move and this commitment.
Yeah, and going back to that number, making sure you have you have the ability to make that person a priority or the capacity to receive that person, because you could be emotionally available because you still hung up on a previous situationship. So it's intentional.
Emotionally unavailable.
Right, emotionally unavailable. Yeah. So being intentional is really about being intentional about you're not going to let your emotions dictate what this prospective relationship will be, will not be. You're going to move with intention. That's moving with intention.
And believe it or not, just by going through these questions, you also eliminate a lot of uncertainty. You eliminate a lot of confusion. And then when it gets to the point in the relationship that is getting serious, you've already done the preliminary.
You look like that was hard to come out.
I want to make sure I said it right.
Preliminary.
You've already done all the work, the background and everything. You've already got the foundation set. You don't have to go back and revisit that to see that you missed something.
Yes.
Or to make sure everything was sure. You've already done all of that.
Yes. Yep.
So,
I think we said a mouthful. All right, y'all. Well, we about to go see Michael, the movie.
Yeah.
And go follow us on IG, because I'm going to, baby, you heard the story when I met Michael Jackson right before he passed away. Remember me saying that? I had to share that story with you.
You may have. I don't remember.
I'm going to share this story on IG of, and when we talk about God ordering your steps, being at the right place, this is how I know this personally. God orders your steps, even like how you coming across this channel. Every step is ordered by the Lord. And I'm going to share on IG sometime this weekend of how I was at the right place at the right time and met Michael Jackson. The day that.
So with that being said,
changed like
we pray this video get you to find a small, quiet place, have a conversation with yourself, ask God for his input in your situation. And we look so forward to seeing you guys in our next video.
Yes. Peace.